We put this plan out early in this whole process. I really expected them to put their own plan on the table a lot earlier. But what this shows is they were scrambling. How do you come back and counter 999? Because it starts with throwing out the current tax code and you put in this simple structure. And so all of the ones that have said that they have a plan, what does it do? It pivots off of the current tax code. Now, yes, we still keep that, flat tax, and yes, we got to have a much, let's just say we're going to eliminate the IRS and put in a new agency that's going to be a whole lot smaller. But they pivot off of the current tax code, which means that they still are going to have a battle over their people's favorite deductions and exclusions and things of this nature. Lobbyists are going to be all over them trying to get their industry or their segment or their business's favorite. You don't have any loopholes in 999. But yes, wasn't really surprised, but it just indicated that they were scrambling to come up with something better than 999, and so far, they haven't.
So one of the interesting features of 999 is that you eliminate the payroll tax, and so therefore you sort of eliminate also the connection between payroll taxes and what your benefit might be.
Right.
Which means that Social Security, I guess, would be on budget instead of off budget. I wonder if that's an intended consequence of 999, and if you've thought about what that might do to Social Security and whether that would help you accomplish some of your goals.
It is an intended consequence, and let me make it very clear. We're collecting the Social Security revenue using the 999 structure, but we are not eliminating Social Security. Seniors will not be negatively affected. What the next step is to figure out how we want to restructure the system. Seniors are not going to be affected. We're working on the concept of younger workers having an option as we phase off of this current system that we cannot sustain. So yes, Social Security is not going to go away. Another solution we're going to put on the table would be, here's how we address and better utilize those dollars. Now, one of the principles that you alluded to with that question, you will see coming from the Cain campaign and from Herman Cain's candidacy, individual solutions to problems. Not a 59-point plan with 160 pages. Yes, I took a shot at somebody, okay? Not a 59-point plan that covers a whole lot of stuff that's not even related. One of the things that we want to achieve is put ideas on the table that the American people can understand and can get behind. So when we present the Social Security restructuring, it will be about how we restructure Social Security. Within the next couple of weeks, we are going to be presenting our energy independence strategy. We're working on that so people can get their heads around energy independence and how we want to do it. And so keeping the solution to individual problems is how we're going to do it, rather than massive documents that nobody wants to read and that nobody's going to understand.
So to probe a little bit more, so 999 becomes law in, say, February of your first term. And so what's up in March?
I'm going to ask Congress to make it retroactive to January 1st. And here's why. It is estimated that the GDP for this year might, on an annualized basis, hit 1.6%. That's one of the latest projections. That's pathetic. And with what the president is proposing, it's not going to be any better next year. So I'm going to ask Congress to make it effective January 1st, 2013, retroactive. After I'm elected, we will begin to work with members of Congress to tee up that legislation. The mere fact that we would tee up the legislation and say that we're going to make it retroactive, the business community is going to get excited, which is what we need, because the business community is the engine of economic growth in this country. It will be fuel for the engine. Look, I served on corporate boards for nearly 20 years throughout my business career. The discussion in the boardrooms prior to the last 3 years was, how do we grow the business? We never had a discussion about how do we stay the same? How do we get smaller? How do we grow? Then within the last 3 years, a lot of boardroom discussions became, how do we survive? Because they've done their own assessment that this economy is stuck. It's not going anywhere. And it's going to stay stuck because of ineffective, failed economic policies. And so when the business community sees that the unconventional candidate has gotten elected president with a bold idea, they're going to get excited that he just might get this thing passed. And if the business community gets excited, they're going to put together growth plans, or at least they're going to have them on the table ready to pull the trigger once members of Congress say that we are going to move this through. And so this is what we badly need. This is why I want to make it retroactive, because this economy can't wait. 14 million people without jobs, and they can't find jobs, folks. Can't wait. This is our biggest domestic priority, in my opinion.